Hello, I'm Yegor Prikazuk, and this is the user guide of SCOPE, Soil Canopy Observation of Photochemistry and Energy Fluxes model. In this video, we are going to discuss individual runs, so it's set option simulation 0, and the spectral output, how to plot apparent reflectance properly. Well, let's get started. What I expect you have already done is you went over GitHub and you downloaded the model with download zip. After that, you have unzipped the file, and now you can navigate to Scope Master and you see these files. Also, of course, you have MATLAB, which would normally start with double click of Scope. What I also expect you to do is to find our documentation. The link is directly in the README, and today we are going to cover the part options and rules of input reading. Specifically, we are going to focus on individual runs, so simulation option 0. But first, we navigate to the folder, we click Scope, and of course, we see that the scope is open, and we run it for the first time. The first run has 100 simulations, and hopefully you get the same message that the output is the same as in the verification dataset, which means we are good to go. To go to our own runs, we have to change 3 files. The files are located in input folder. The files are file names, input data default, and set options. We are going to start with set options. Once I open this file, what I have to change is line 8. I have to say verify option 0 because I don't want to verify anymore. And the simulation option in this case is 0. It's default. So it's okay. We save it. Very important. We save it. We close it. We don't need it anymore. Then we are going to change file names. This is optional, purely optional. We have a 2-column file. And here in line 4, if we just want the folder to be named differently, we can call it simulation, specifically now individual run. And again, we also save it and we close it. Finally, input data default. What we are going to change here is we are going to reproduce exactly the case that is specified here in the documentation. So we say that we need chlorophyll 40 and 80. Very simple simulation, just 2 runs. Again, we save it, we close it, and the final file that we have to adjust is 1 folder back. So again, in the Scope Master, set parameter file names. This is a 3-column file which says where to read input from. Set options, file names, and input data. Now it reads Latin Hypercube, but we changed it at the file that is called default. So we are going to read this one. Again, save it, close it, go to Scope, and run it. Of course, now when we run, we are expecting 2 simulations. One with chlorophyll 40, the other one with chlorophyll 80 micrograms per square centimeter. Let's go to the output and see the output that interests us today. So my run was renamed to individual runs. The output that interests us today is apparent reflectance. So apparent reflectance is reflectance plus fluorescence contribution. So to quickly view it, we just insert the line plot, and we see that series 1 has above a bit higher reflectance than series 2. But what are those series? What do they correspond to? Of course, to chlorophyll that we changed. But if we want to know which exactly chlorophyll it is, then we go to parse and input short. And in this file, we see that the first simulation is chlorophyll 40. The second simulation is chlorophyll 80. Yeah, once again, those variables are exactly aligned, so files are exactly aligned. So line 3 corresponds to line 3 here. Line 4 corresponds to line 4 here. So let's specify it on the graph. So we can close this one. Select data. We say that series 1 is in fact cap equals 40. Series 2 are in fact cap equals 80. Okay. Here we go. So the problem now, if we want to make graph more scientific or beautiful, that this line, the x-axis is categorical, but in scope is of course wavelength. Wavelength is stored here in WLS, which is wavelength scope. So we open this file, Control-A, everything, Control-C, and we can paste it here. Unfortunately, we'll have to paste it 2 times because you cannot transpose from the first time. So I copied it again, and here I do transpose because we plotted everything row-wise. Okay, then I can delete these lines. And what I have to do, this is our wavelengths now. What I have to do is to, again, select data and change the horizontal axis to the wavelengths. Well, it's okay, but it still says that this is categorical axis, which is not necessarily nice. What is also not necessarily nice is the format, scientific format. So first, for beauty again, I will change the format to number. Okay, much better. And second, the categorical axis will have to change in chart design, change chart type to scatter. Oh, what is this? Well, everything is okay. And the thing is that SCO simulates 2 parts of spectrum. The optical part, what we called it, up to 2400 nanometers, and the thermal part from 2500 nanometers to 50,000 nanometers. Because we are not interested in that part, we can just limit the axis now. And we see the reflectance curve. We can also maybe limit this one to 400. It's where scope wavelengths start. And now we have a nice graph. Maybe you can make it a bit nicer if I make it lines to see difference a bit more clear. So what we see is now that the canopy, it's canopy reflectors. Canopy whose leaves have higher leaf chlorophyll content have lower reflectance, so they look darker. And this is kind of true. Also, the red edge position is shifted a little bit towards a near infrared domain. All right. And the final thing, if you want to save a beautiful graph, you cannot do it in like that because the file is CSV. A CSV file can save only text. So what you have to do is you have to do File, Save As. Here specifies that it's Excel that you want, and then you save it, and then you can close it and reopen it again. Here it's saved as Excel. Here it's saved as CSV. So only this file has a graph. All right, that was it for today. We figured out what individual rounds are and how to plot spectral output per wavelengths. So a logical question is, what is going to happen if we are going to vary several parameters simultaneously? That is possible. In this case, when the inputs are aligned, so we can form natural pairs out of them, they will be run as pairs. So there's the first pair, chlorophyll 40, carotenoids 10. The second pair, chlorophyll 80, carotenoids 5. And the third pair, chlorophyll 100, carotenoids 0. But what will happen if we remove one? So if they are not aligned anymore, so we have 2 pairs and this carotenoid content has no pair. In this case, Scope takes the longest input and the first column input for all other parameters. So if you want to see how it looks like in the output file parser input short, feel free to do it yourself. See you in the next videos.